Okay, you can never, ever, ever multiply with mixed numbers. So 2 3/4 times 8 over 9 cannot be completed as it is. You must change 2 3/4 into an improper fraction. So 4 times 2 is 8, plus 3 is 11. 11 over 4 multiplied by 8 over 9. You can do it one of two ways. You can reduce first, or you can reduce second. If you were to reduce first, when I scan for all numerators and denominators, I see one set. In particular, I see the 8 and the 4 as having a common factor of a 4. What you're left with is 11 times 2 on the top and 9 times 1 on the bottom. So you're back down to 22 over 9, which gets converted back into a mixed number. 9 goes into 20, so 2, 18, 4/9. Of course, you could have also multiplied straight through on the top, and you would have got 88 over 36, which would have reduced down both by 4, 22 over 9, which is 2 4/9. So you must always change mixed numbers, whether they're multiplying or dividing, into improper fractions. Here's another kind of example. 4 over 5 times 25 times 2 3/16. There are two cautionary notes here. The first one is the second fraction does not have a denominator. You must make one. So 4 over 5 times 25 over 1. All whole numbers are written with a denominator of 1. And then this third fraction must get converted to improper. So 2 times 16 is 32, plus 3 is 35 over 16. Now, your job is to reduce first or second. I'm going to reduce first because the numbers are smaller to work with. I'm going to start with the 4 and the 16, both common factor of a 4. 4 goes into 4 once, 4 goes into 16 4 times. I also see a common factor of a 5 and a 25. I could have also chosen 5 and 35. Does not matter, don't get the same answer. 5 goes into 5 once, 5 goes into 25 5 times. What I'm left with is a 1 times 5 times 35 on the top, a 1, 1, and the 4 on the bottom. My final answer, my final middle step, I guess you would say, is 5 times 35, so 175, over 4 on the bottom, which converts to a mixed number. 4 goes into that, 43 3/4. If you'd chosen to multiply straight through first, 25 times 35 times 4 is 3,500 over 80. So I would get rid of the zeros first, divide both by 10, so 350 over 8, maybe divide them both by 2, 175 over 4, and then that's lowest terms. Switch it to a mixed fraction, and you get 43 3/4. Another kind of weird question may be written like this: 2 3/4, 12 3/4, divided by 2 1/8. Now notice the divide sign is not written, but it is assumed to be there by the fact that it is in a fraction form. So I'm going to rewrite this. That's 12 3/4 divided by 2 1/8. We know we can't divide fractions. Let's change the multiplication. We know we can't use mixed numbers. They've got to become improper. So first things first, 4 times 12 is 48, plus 3 is 51 over 4, divided by 8 times 2 is 16 plus 1 is 17 over 8. You'll notice I didn't flip yet. If you do too many steps at once, you're bound to make a mistake. So all I did was convert to impropers. Now I'm going to flip 51 over 4 times 8 over 17. Now I'm going to look for some common factors. So it happens that 51 and 17 goes into 51 evenly. It goes in 3 times. So I'm going to reduce that one and this one. And of course, 4 and 8 goes in twice. You're left with, on the top, 3 times 2, which is 6. On the bottom, you have a 1, or 6 over 1. Okay, this question here could also have been written 51 over 4 divided by 17 over 8. Maybe down like this. Then maybe you would have converted it up to here. This is called a complex fraction because it's called a fraction within a fraction. But if you treat the line in the middle as a division, you can simply write it out as a linear expression. 51 over 4 divided by 17 over 8. Take the second fraction, invert it, or take what's called the reciprocal, and you'll be good to go. You'll never get it wrong. This is the reciprocal. You flip it over. But you only can flip it over if it's an improper fraction.